Yes, sir. It's the villain back with another one. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I just got a couple questions I want to pose to our fathers and mothers out there. First of all, give a shout out to all the mothers and the fathers in the universe, all the people that take care of their responsibility, all the people that created wonderful, beautiful children, and they have the opportunity to be in their lives and shape them and form them into just some outstanding, great people. I want to start there because you are the foundation. All right, your mom, your pops, whoever raised you, whoever took you in, whoever accepted you for who you truly are. That's who I want to give a shout out to. Not all the people who just had kids. I ain't talking about them. Not the people that disrespect their children, call them out their name, make them feel bad and unwanted, and never apologize for it. And even if they did, it has to be a sincere apology. I ain't talking about those people. Sometimes your family are people that don't even share the same blood as you. Sometimes your family is people that don't look nothing like you, have nothing to do with your DNA. And that's okay. But for the people out there that truly love and accept and want their child or children to be better than them, to have what they didn't have, and they're out here showing them a positive example, those are the people I'm talking about. A question: in the climate that we're in, being born and raised in the place that we've been born and raised, why would any parent, right, willfully give their child to Disney and these other companies and these industries that want your child? See, maybe about 20 years ago, before the internet and before all this stuff came out, it sounded cool to have your child be a model and go to Disney and put them on TV and all this. But if you have, if you've been alive in the last 15, 20 years, and you've seen all the things surrounding the evil in Hollywood, the evil in the entertainment industry, and the things that I'm saying can be looked up and will be told by people who've actually been in these spaces. Okay, this ain't no secret. This ain't nothing new. This is the same BS that's been going on before all of us were alive. First of all, Disney was a known pedophile, right? I told my family this about 20 years ago, but they still want to go to Disney World and still want to spend money with these people. My my first question to you, first of all, why would any grown man want to? Because I think he was in his 40s when he first started Disney World or Disneyland and all that. But his whole niche was children. Everything that he was about was children. Any grown ass person that wants to be in the space of children all the time, I got an issue with that. You don't want to be around people your age. Are you attracted to children? These are the things that we need to be asking ourselves. So again, I'm gonna go back just a little bit to Mr. Disney. If you really want to look this stuff up, look it up. He was a known pedophile. Somehow or another, he got Disneyland and he got Disney World. And everybody want to take their kids to the most expensivest place on the earth and go see these sights and shit, right? He catered to children. That was his thing. He is a part of the masonry. Look all this stuff up, man. I'm not just making this up because it sounds cute. Like I told you, I've been knowing about this at least 20 years. When I first found out about it, I decided right then and there I was never going to take my child to visit any of these places. I'm not going to spend my money with these people. And again, I've told my family this. They don't care. You know, and there's so many of us like that don't care. I mean, you could literally look this stuff up, but you're not going to do it. Even if you looked it up and found out what this man was about, the casting the spells and all that, you're going to make an excuse for him. But for those who grew up around the time I grew up, and you remember the cartoons, you remember Mickey Mouse and all them casting spells and all this magic, and they had these little sticks. It's kind of like the what is it? That Harry Potter BS y'all so into. If you really knew what that stuff was, would you allow that stuff in your home? Would you allow your child and your children to cast spells? See, it's a thin line between love and hate, is what they say, right? Almost the same to me as this realm that we're in a demonic spiritual realm, right? We're close to some spirits that we may not be aware of, right? Because there's been so many things done before we even got here. By the time we got here, it was already happening. Like Halloween. Just take Halloween, for example. If you know anything about the past, Halloween started off on some demonic type stuff. But now it's one of the biggest celebrations every single year. Y'all spend a lot of money on it, all these costumes, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like I ain't participate in it. I have, actively, right? And then you start thinking for yourself, and you start wondering, well, why is this? Why is this? Why is that? And you got to go back a little bit and do a little bit of research and think outside of the box. And then you start understanding that these are things that we never should have been a part of. They were introduced to us as children. Your mama, your daddy, their mama and daddies probably were introduced to it as children. Think about it. Let's just go back 80 years, right? For some of us, 80 years, your grandmother probably was alive. Some of us, our great-grandmothers were alive, like mine. Think about the time frame, the psyche of people back then. If these people didn't have these celebrations and these things to look forward to, black people or melanated people would have had to come up with our own stuff, which 9 times out of 10 we did, right? We came up with different little holidays and traditions that we wanted to celebrate, but all that got pretty much swept up under the rug when they realized that we could be controlled as we are today. We're being controlled as we are today. They set up a money pit. That's all it is. Every card you buy for Valentine's, piece of candy, piece of clothing that you wear when you're trying to idolize somebody else. Just think about that. We idolize people, and ain't that supposed to be a sin? Right? Ain't that supposed to be a sin? But no, we do it anyway. But we make up excuses for, oh, God understands. We're just playing. Okay. Keep playing. Keep on playing. Bringing it back to Disney. Our parents, to this day, are still introducing our children to this evil and demonic industry. And then you wonder why when they grow up, they turn crazy, like Orlando Brown. Or some of these other child star actors and actresses that when you listen to them in interviews, they just don't sound right. You know something's been done to them. You just can't put your finger on it. Right? Most of these child star actors and actresses who have grown up their whole entire lives and behind this big machine called Hollywood and Disney ain't right. They can't live normal lives. Even though it might seem like they are, but then when they get a little older, they start breaking down and you start realizing, oh, wow, I didn't know they were going through this. It's the same old song over and over. They just did a documentary about 2-3 years ago about Disney, about how it was working at Disney, about the adults and the interactions of these adults with these children, right? Full-on fledged documentary. People ignore it. People see it, and I'm going to still put my child in it. I still want my child to do this. A lot of you don't even care about your own children. You just want the benefits of it. You'll feed your children to these demons just so you can have a better life, or supposedly have a better life. I'm put the air quotations up because I don't care what they give you. It's not going to last, and it's not going to feed your soul. 10, 15, 20 years from now, you'll see them on an interview, and they'll confess. They'll cry, and they'll tell you, I didn't mean it. I shouldn't have did this. I never should have turned my back on God. They all say the same stuff, right? But you don't care. You don't listen. So my question again is, why are we feeding our children to the beast? Why do we continuously feed ourselves and our children to this beast? Why do we need to be validated so much? Why do we need to feel like we need to be a part of something or fit in something that was never, ever meant for us in the first place? To me, it all comes back to that slave mentality. You want to be loved so much, you'll do anything for that attention, even if that means selling your own soul or compromising, doing some things that you know you shouldn't be doing some things that you don't really want to do for a monetary benefit. And then when you're tired of doing it, because you got to keep doing it. You can't just do it one time. They ain't going to let you just do it one time and then you're famous for the rest of your life and you're getting paid doing all. No, you got to keep doing it. And see, that's the thing. If you're not in love with it, it'll be exposed. Let's take another child star like Usher. His mom, at 13 years old, put him in the Puffy camp, which some of y'all seen that video, where he goes on to explain the things that he saw at that camp. And I'm not personally beating up Puffy, because he's not the only one that does it. You know, he's just the blackface, the one that we know about, right? It's been plenty Epsteins and Clive Davises and all these people that have been throughout the years messing with children, right? Finding these little children and, you know, making billions off of them, things of that nature. But again, when you listen to Usher and he says the type of things that were going on as a 13, 14-year-old guy, and he's around grown-ass women in their 30s, late 20s and 30s, getting exposed to things he would never want his child to be exposed to. And that's exactly what came out of his mouth. He said he would never allow his child to go through the things that he went through. But his mama did. His mama put it in him. Put him in that situation. You got to think about stuff like this. She put him in something to his detriment that turned out to be beneficial for them both. But he's not happy. The way I see it, there's only two things going on in life. And this life that we have here is a test. And if you're not willing to take the test, you want to be lazy, you want to get all the answers, you can go do that. But God is so perfect that even in your stubborn decision to try to be better than somebody else and try to have things that other people couldn't get honestly, God is going to show you, right? The Creator will show you in many ways, because you always get a chance. You know, God just doesn't just turn his back on you, right? God keeps and keeps and keeps asking, you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to continue doing this? You know you don't feel like doing this. You sure you're going to do this again? This is what you want to do? And you keep answering by doing it. But one day, that conscience will kick in, man. And now you got to face yourself. Now you got to face the demons that not only that you allowed to run around inside of you, but you allow them to be you. You got to look at yourself in the mirror. Everybody do at some point, whether you want to or you're forced to. Stop putting our children in these demonic places, in these demonic situations. If you really truly love your child, you'll put yourself in harm so that they wouldn't be. And I'm not telling you to go out and try to be in this Hollywood and all this type of stuff, unless that's your dream. But what I'm saying is, if you truly love your offspring, there ain't nothing you wouldn't do to save them, to hold them, to keep them out of harm's way. You would not throw your child into the fire and pray they don't get burnt. It's not a real parent. And the older I get, the more parents I see like this. The more women I see that are having children that they're not attached to. The more children I see men that don't want to claim them. But you did what you did to create them. See, to me, children are closer to God than we are because they're not filled with all this BS and everything that we went through to get to where we are. They're pure. And then we fill them up with our demons. We give them our demons. We throw our demons on them. When the world is already ready to do it, 9 times out of 10, that parent, that first person that was introduced to you, is the one throwing their demons on you. Like I told you, fear. A lot of parents put fear in their children of heights, of just different things that never should have been introduced. And now you're going to throw your child in the fire. I don't blame none of these kids. I can't. Blame the parents, the adult in the situation. All I can say is, because I ain't going to keep this too long. Again, I'm giving a shout out to all the real ones that truly love themselves and their children. I love y'all too. I don't see y'all enough. I'm not around y'all enough. That's why I keep shouting y'all out, because it's not enough of us in these spaces. And maybe you're at home a lot because you don't want to be out in this world because you understand what it is. And I get it, but we all got to come out sometimes. But when I see y'all and I recognize y'all, I definitely make it a point to say something to you, because I can appreciate a real one. Because I'm in a sea of BS. I'm in a sea of liars and people who hate themselves. So it's refreshing to be around people who ain't got that in them, or who've already worked on it and beat that obstacle, because it is an obstacle. So I'm going to end this one by saying, wherever you are, whoever you are, no matter what you are, no matter where you are on this planet, I don't need to know you to love you. But I hope that you love yourself enough to be better and do better. So be safe and protect yourself and your kids. And that's about it, man. Peace. I love you.